I have just provided this text with this custom font. So here you can see the custom font. So I have used Google Fonts package, which I have installed here, and I have used this custom font, and this is this. Style which I have used. So here I have applied it, and for the color I have this colors.dart, which is in the constants directory. So these are the custom colors which I am going to use in this project. So here for the background color I have imported this primary color, and this game screen have been imported in this main.dart file, and also I have provided false for this debug show check mode banner for this one. Okay, so this is the project structure. Now here I am going to create project layout. So first, instead of the center, now here I am going to create project layout. So first, instead of the center, I am going to use column widget, and for this column widget I will use 3 expanded widgets. widget. So for the first one, here I am going to provide a text. It will be used for scoreboard. And these the second one will be box board, and the third one will be for timer. And here for the flex property of it, I will use 1 for the first one, 3 for the box board and 2 for the timers section. So this is how it's looking right now. Now let's implement the box here first, and for that first here I'm going to use grid view dot builder function.
New movie near the Trustbush.
Quick time basasa. Нажал карта. Но себе трудно. Но сейчас десктоптың менюінде. Quick time basasa. Quick time менюны ашасың. New movie.
Уже досыш.
Тана жазылып жатқан жоқ ештеңе. Я должен, бұл просто бетінде көрсетіп тұр үшін ғана. Ал не істеу үшін скрин рекординг жасау үшін файл скрин рекординг қылады. Онда рекорд деген басқан кезде ғана басынан көрсетеді.
And here for the grid delegate I'm going to use sliver grid delegate with fixed cross-axis count, and for the cross-axis count I will provide 3. And for the item builder,
Hi, I'm Dana. I'm a filmmaker. Come with me to create an entire movie poster mock-up with the newest.
Тура қалғандық сияқты болса.
we
Кел алып келсең.
will return a gesture detector so that we can tap onto it, and for this
Қой жерде тұрады. Мына 2-3 сет ғой үстінде. Қалады ба? Ашана бәрін қоя салды.
on tab. Right now I will not provide any.
Sitting. PC'den dedin neydi? Adresin kategorisinden
anything. For the child of it, let's provide a container, and for the container decoration, let's provide a box decoration. For the border radius of it, let's provide border radius circular 15. For border, let's use border all with 5, and for the color of it I will use primary color, and this is the color for the border. And now I will provide the color for the box, and for this one I will provide secondary color. And here for the item count I will provide 9. Now save it. So after saving it, here
Aslında жаққа жазам. Enter. Name болу керек. Nasıl oldu ya senin aklın? Tic-Tac-Toe git punch'a uzaktırayım.
here we can see the boxes have been created, and I want to provide a padding throughout this section. So I will wrap this column with a padding, and I will provide 20 pixel padding. Okay, and let's wrap this with center so that we can see the text, and later we will work on it. And for the child of this container we will provide a text, and that we need to provide within a center widget. And for the text we will use X or O here, and let's provide some style for it. And for this one also I will use Google font, and this is the same font which I am using. And now let's provide the text style. For the font size of it I will use
Так.
64, and for the color of it I will use primary color. So that's how it will look. Now we need to make this dynamic. That means right now, as
Все, вроде полда.
you can see, this O is being present to every box, but that should not be the case. This X or O will be appeared here after we will tap onto it. So that's why I have used this gesture detector, and for the on tap I haven't provided any function yet. So let me implement that functionality. Initially the boxes will be blank, and then based on the user's input it will be X or O alternatively. So here for that, first I'm going to create a list of string called display XO. Initially it will be blank, and as we have 9 boxes, so I'm going to use 9 blank value here. And also here I'm going to create a boolean variable called oTurn, and it will be true, so it will be the first player. And now here let's call a function called tapped, and here we will pass the index. So I
Flutter paket деген жазу керек. Сейв жасайсың? Или андай Flutter paket ол не деген сөз? Сен сақтайсың ғой? Менде мынандай изменение болып отырды, ол өзіне тартып алады осы нәрсе.
Сейчас, наверное, можно, да. Если ты хочешь, можешь сажаем там case.
I haven't created this tab yet. Now let's create this, and here we will accept index, and here within the set state we need to check if oTurn is true and display XO index is blank, then we will display O, else we will display X, and then we will change the oTurn value. Initially it will be true, but when this line executes, then oTurn will be changed to false. And here instead of O I will use display index. So now let's see, here we have O, then we have X, and then alternatively it is O and X, right? So it's working fine. And now based on these values in the boxes, we need to check for the winner. Here the win combination will be 8, and those 8 combination will be 3 for each row and 3 for each column, and then 2 diagonal, right? So if this row has XXX value, then player X will be winner. Similarly for the second row, if player X or player O provide their value to these boxes, then that player will be the winner. And the same case will be for the column as well. And after these rows and columns, we have these diagonal positions. So as here we have O, O, and if we have another O here, then it will be like this, then player O winner. And similar case will be for these diagonal positions as well. So these 8
Тик-так ба? Тик-так? Тик-так? Некі ма? Жоқ. Қай сен болғанда мен не көрсетіп тұрсың сен? Мен GitHub'тағы несін алып қоя салдым яқтан. Ну что фонд қаяқтан скачать етесің? Жоқ, оны скачать етпейді просто. Алып келеді ғой по-любому. Өзінің файлын келеді ғой. Тоқтан, қай строка еді? 41 Надағы? Я дұрыс
combinations with
бірінші аты тұру керек оның ішінде дискурс не болды.
will be there, and based on this we will check the winner. So here when we will tap here, that time we need to check for the winner, as I have provided O here. Now if we check that value of this box and this box matches, then player O will be the winner. So that checking should be for this tapped function. So here we need to create another function. So let's create this check winner function. And here we will check first row. It will be display XO, so the array which we have created, and initially it has blank value for each position, but when we tap onto it, that time we are getting the X and O values here. So let's check the value for the index, and the first index value will be 0. So if the value of this box equal to this box and the value of this equal to this box, then we can say that it matches.
Ошибканы GPT-ге жібердім да. Не дейді.
Блин, уже ма. Екі минуттан кейін
Yes, in the first row. So that's why we are checking this display XO for the 0 position, which is the index value of this box, and the index value for this box is 1, and then it is 2, and similarly it is up to 8. So 0 to 8, that is the 9 value, so it will be 1. So if the value of this one is equal to this one, then it will declare the winner if the value of this one is also matches with this one. Okay, and here we can see that we have a problem. When I have tapped here, then it has changed the value. That should not happen, and that is happening because of this condition. As for the X it is not changing, but for O it is getting changed to X. So here instead of else, it will be else if, and the condition for this one will be opposite of this one. So for this one, O turn is true, it will be false if the O turn is false. And also we need to check for this blank. If it is blank, then only it will put the X in a box. So now let's comment it out and let's check this one first. So now if I'm clicking on this O, then it is not getting changed, so it is working fine. Now we have checked for these two position, which is this and this. Now we need to check for this one and this one as well. So it will be, and the value of this one matches with this one, and we need to provide another condition if it is not blank. If no
ағай мен тик-такта да сөйтіп істеймін ба гитхабқа салынбаймын ма тоже
иә
жарайды
value is present there, that is also matches for every boxes, so we need to check that one box value of it should not be blank, so that will check for the other boxes as well. And by this we can check for the winner, and here we need to update the state. So here let's provide text player wins, and the player will come from this value it here. As I have mentioned previously that now let's implement row, it will be position of 3 1 and 6 column, it will be 0, it will be 6. And now after the column has been complete, we need to check for the diagonal, so it will be 0 4 and 8, and for the other diagonal it will be this position, so it will be 6 4 2. So now let's do a restart. Now let's check it once. So here you can see it will be the winner x box, so it is working fine. Now we have checked for these two position, which is this and this. Now we need to check for this one and this one as well, so it will be and the value of this one matches with this one, and we need to provide another condition if it is not blank. If no value is present there, that is also matches for every boxes, so we need to check that one box value of it should not be blank, so that will check for the other boxes as well. And by this we can check for the winner, and here we need to update the state. So here let's provide text Player wins and the player will come from this value. So whatever value is in this position, so if it is X then player X wins, if it is O then player O wins. And now we need to declare this variable, and by default it will be empty. And now let's check it here. And now similarly we will have 7 more combination, as I have mentioned previously that we will have total 8 combination for the winner. I have implemented one. Now let's implement others as well. Here it will be for second row, and for the second row it will be position of this and this, so it will be 3, 4 and 5. And for the winner it will be display XO3. Now let's do it for the third row, and for this one it will be 6 index value, 6, 7, 8. So it will be 6, and let's compare it with 7 and 8, and for the winner it will be 6. So row has been complete. Now it will be first column, it will be 0 position, then 3 and 6, and here it will be 0. So similarly I will create other 2 column quickly.
Ол қайда? Жоқ, точкасы қайда? Сол, салындыршы енді.
Айтып тұрмын ғой, саламын.
Давай, сал.
İstеп жатсың.
And now after the column has been complete, we need to check for the diagonal. So it will be 0, 4 and 8. And for the other diagonal it will be this position. So it will be 6, 4, 2. So now let's do a restart. Now let's check it once. So here you can see that player O wins message has been appeared. So here let's change the style, and with this we need to provide the score for the winner in the scoreboard. So for this first we need to create some variable. So first we will have player O score. Similarly we will have player X score, and initially score will be 0. Also I will create another variable called filled boxes. So it will be used to count how many boxes have been filled. First here let's implement the scoreboard layout, and for that I will provide a container. For the container child I will use a row, and for the row main axis alignment I will provide center. For the children of it I will use column, and now call this update score function for each checking. So here we need to provide the winner. So winner is display XO0. So let's copy this one, and for this one it will be 6. So these are the diagonal. Similarly for the column and row I will provide this. So let's quickly do that. And also here we need to provide filled box. Whenever we tap here, that time we will increment the filled box value with 1. So based on this filled box's value we can check for a tie. So here as we have this 8 possible win condition, we will have another condition for the tie. So if filled box's value will be equal to 9, that means all boxes have been filled and all these win conditions haven't been met, then that means it will be a draw, nobody wins. So let's provide that. So we need to declare nobody wins. So let's restart it and now start playing it again. Okay, so here we can see a problem. It displays nobody win, which is this condition, but here also we can see we have a winner and the score for the winner have been updated for this player O, and that is because these both conditions have been met. So first we have updated this result declaration for the diagonal, and later we have updated it for nobody wins. So that's why it is showing the latest update here. So to prevent that, I have provided it in else if condition. Now let's check it. Okay, so here we need to declare another variable called winner found, and by default it will be false. And let's update that here, and instead of else if it will be if winner found is not true and filled boxes is equal to 9, then we will display this nobody wins text. Now let's reload it. Now after that let's try. So now we can see that it is showing the player O wins and the score updates properly. And now check for a draw condition. So here it is showing nobody wins. So the conditions are working perfectly well. Now we need to provide a functionality to clear the box. So for that, here we need to create a button. So first I am wrapping it with a center widget and also a column widget, and for the column main axis alignment I will provide main axis center, and after that here let's provide a sized box, and for the sized box height I will provide 10, and after that I need to create a button, and the button will be elevated button. So here for the elevated button button on press function. Right now I am providing a blank function.
Апасына қоймашы. Апасына қойма деймін. Потом.
And for the style of it, let's provide elevated button style from, and then the background color, and the color I will provide white, and let's provide some padding here, and it will be horizontal 32 and vertical 16. And now let's provide text for the child of it, and here let's provide play again. So here we can see the button. Now let's provide the style for this text. Font size of it will be 20, and for the color I will use black color. So it's looking good. Now for the on pressed function of it, I will clear the board. So here let's call a cleared board function, and now I need to create it. So here after this update score, let's create the clear board function. Within set state, let's provide a for loop, and let's run it from 0 to less than 9. So it will run from 0 to 8, so that means total 9 times. And let's provide empty value for each of these positions. Of the array. So by this the board will be cleared. Along with this we need to do few more things, which is this result declaration. It needs to be reset as well, and let's reset the filled boxes to 0 as well. Now save it. Wait, so after that let's click here. So here we can see our board has been cleared, and now again we can start playing the game, and also we can clear it. Right, now we need to create the timer here and provide the functionality related to it. So right now, as we can start playing, but after providing the timer here, we can only play while the timer is active. So let me implement that. And for timer, we need to create timer variable called timer, and we need to import this .async library to use the timer, and along with it I will provide a constant called max seconds, and here we can provide the maximum time which we want to provide for the timer, and here I will provide 30 seconds. And then let's create another variable called seconds, and let's assign max seconds value to it. Now let's create some function here related to the timer. First we need to start the timer, so it will be start timer, and it is timer.periodic, and here we need to provide the duration, and the duration of it will be 1 second. And here for this function within the set state,
Имам 투두도 사고가고 이날 위에 선배했던 거 급속 보내. 이 나왔던 를 불사도.
А что, номер Flutter нет?
номер жазған. Өзімді басқаратын жасаймын. Бай бастап қысылар барда. Бәрі тудуда. Сұрт көп салдым.
Хорошо. Главное, аттарын дұрыстап қой, хорошо?
Ладно.
Part 1, part 2, part 3 деп. Сенде бак қанша деймісің? 200 бактар, хорошо. Қазір көрейік, не бар екенсің. Уже загрузка жасап қойғанда өшіре берсей.
Жоқ, загрузка істемей тұр,
Оған да өшіресің, қаншаны мен керек емес қой. Android сүйдерсің, еш керек емес. Flutter керек емес, уже осылай деп қойдым. Алатау. Неге салмай жатыр дедің?
I will provide a checking. If seconds is greater than 0, then we will reduce it by 1 for each timer duration. So for each second duration, we will reduce the seconds value by 1. So that's how the countdown will work. And when the seconds value will be 0, that time we need to stop the timer. So for that we need to create the stop timer function as well. So to stop it, we need to call this cancel function. Also we need to reset the timer so that the seconds value goes back to max seconds value. So that's why we need to create reset timer function, and for this seconds I will set it to max seconds, because while this start timer is running, that time the seconds value is getting updated and it is getting reduced, and we will call the stop timer function. If it is not greater than 0, that means when it is 1, that time it runs and it becomes 0, that time this condition doesn't match. So for the else case, it comes to this stop timer function. And for the stop timer, we are cancelling the timer, but we are not resetting the seconds value. So that's what we are doing here for this reset timer. And now let's call the reset timer, and here let's provide arrow function, as I have only one line of code here for this function. So this is the functionality related to the timer. Now we need to display the timer, and I want to display it here. So here for this elevated button, I want to display the timer when we will click here. So after clicking here, the timer will start running and this button will not be visible that time. So let me cut it from here, and let's move those things in a function, and that function will also contain the timer. I will name this as build timer, and here let's create the build timer function. And first here we need to check if the timer is running or not. So let's create a variable called is running, and let's check for the timer if the timer is equal to null, then is running is false, otherwise it will be is active. Let's return based on this is running. If it is running, then we will return timer here, otherwise we will return the elevated button. And here it needs to be widget. Okay, so here instead of this timer text, let's create the timer. So it will be sized box, width and height of it will be 100. For the child of it, I will use stack widget, and for the fit of it, I will use stack fit expand, and first children will be circular progress indicator, and for the value of it, I will provide 1 minus seconds by max seconds, and for the value color of it, it will be always stopped animation, and let's provide color here, which is white color. Stroke width of it will be 8, and for the background color of it, I will provide accent color. And now we need to provide the start timer functionality for this button. So here for this on press, let's provide this start timer. Now after saving it, let's restart once. So here we are able to start playing the game, but we need to prevent that. We can start playing the game when the timer will start. So we need to provide that checking, and that checking will be similar to this is running. So let me copy it and let's provide it here, and let's provide the checking. If is running is true, then we will be able to do these functionalities. So now let's tap here. So here we can see that we are not able to play. Now let's click here. So here we can see the timer is running, and that time we can play here, right? And here our player O wins. Now let's wait for a while. So after the timer has been finished, we got our button back. Now we need to provide the remaining time text here in the center of this circle. So let's provide that. So here after this circular progress bar, here we need to provide center widget, and for the child of it I will provide text, and this text will be the seconds, and let's style it. For the font weight of it I will use bold. And for the color I will use white color, and for font size it will be 50. Now let's save it and let's click here. So it's showing the timer value perfectly fine, right? Now we need to do some visual changes. So first change will be this play again button. So initially when our app reloads, first time it is showing the play again, and we cannot play the game. So instead of play again, it will be start button, and for the next time onward it will display play again. So for that I am creating a variable called attempts, and by default it will be 0. So let's check it here. If attempts equal to 0, then it will be start, else it will be play again for the text. And here for this on pressed, it will be attempts plus plus. So here we will increment the value of these attempts by 1 after clicking on this button, but initially it will be 0. So first time it will say start. Now after saving it, here we can see that it is showing start, and when we start playing the game it is showing the timer and player O. already wins. Now let's finish it. And after finishing, it is the play again button. And after that, I want to change the color of these boxes for which the player wins. So that means these diagonal boxes will be changed after winning a game. So for that, here I will create a list of integers called matched indexes, and it will be empty array, and we will add value to this array when we have found a winner. So that means in these conditions we will provide those. So here let's provide matches index add all. So by this we are adding the value to this array, and here we will store the position of the win case. So here for this one it will be 0 1 2. So 0 1 2. And also after the game has been on, we need to stop the timer. So here we need to call this stop timer function as well. So now let's copy it for every win conditions, and for this one these values will be 3 4 5. So let's add that. Let me do that quickly for each of these combinations. So I have added for all the conditions. Now let's provide the conditional color for these boxes, and that we can provide here. So here for this color we need to check for this list if it contains the index value. If it contains this index value for which these boxes are creating, then that means it matches with this matched index array. So those boxes will be the win boxes. So for those boxes we need to change the color. So that color will be accent color. Otherwise we will provide the normal color, which is the secondary color. Right. Now save it. Now let's restart the app. So now let's play the game. We cannot click here. Now we need to click this button. Now start playing the game. Actually, when our app reloads, first time it is showing the play again, and we cannot play the game. So instead of play again, it will be start button, and for the next time onward it will display play again. So for that I am creating a variable called attempts, and by default it will be 0. So let's check it here. If attempts equal to 0, then it will be start, else it will be play again for the text. And here for this on pressed, it will be attempts plus plus. So here we will increment the value of these attempts by 1 after clicking on this button, but initially it will be 0. So first time it will say start. Now after saving it, here we can see that is showing start, and when we start playing the game, it is showing the timer and player O already wins. Now let's finish it, and after finishing it is the play again button. And after that I want to change the color of these boxes for which the player wins. So that means these diagonal boxes will be changed after winning a game. So for that, here I will create a list of integers called matched indexes, and it will be empty array, and we will add value to this array when we have found a winner. So that means in these conditions we will provide those. So here let's provide matches index add all. So by this we are adding the value to this array, and here we will store the position of the win case. So here for this one it will be 0 1 2. So 0 1 2. And also after the game has been on, we need to stop the timer. So here we need to call this stop timer function as well. So now let's copy it for every win conditions, and for this one these values will be 3 4 5. So let's add that. Let me do that quickly for each of these combinations.
істеп жатқан кезде ма? Жоқ, онда обои істей аласың. Үйрене алсаң қатты қиын емес. Мына жерде істеп жатырсың. Обои зато памяти аз болады. Қаласың ба?
So I have added for all the conditions. Now let's provide the conditional color for these boxes, and that we can provide here. So here for this color we need to check for this list if it contains the index value. If it contains this index value for which these boxes are creating, then that means it matches with this matched index array. So those boxes will be the win boxes. So for those boxes we need to change the color. So that color will be accent color, otherwise we will provide the normal color, which is the secondary color. Right, now save it. Now let's restart the app. So now let's play the game. We cannot click here. Now we need to click this button. Now start playing the game. Player X wins, and as soon as we found the winner,
ағай түсірген видеоның қыспайтын көбейте болады.
Ненікін ба?
Иә, біз түсіріп жатқан видео.
Приложениеңді ма? Шлей қатты тез болып кетесің. Albatta, kel. Senin bunu videon qancha bo'ladi? Sende 3 gigabayt bo'ldi. O sende hozir 160 megabayt bo'lib qoldi. Qancha? 15 session. Hozir biz. Biroq buni o'qishga sen kelesida Vice version sen namajeti. Bunday chappa var. Najerinden kod beradi. Bu yerda ne var? Faylın turgan adresi var. Men turgan jeri dұрыс ko'rsatib beradi. Analizlardan saqlay berasiz. Tushunib ketamiz. Sonunda faylni аты qanday bo'ladi? Tab ishga ketasiz. Deydi. Sen рабочий столдан мындай басын екі мов деп бересің автоматтың сөзі сондай сөзін қосаған мына кодты береді осыны копировать етіп аласың и терминалға қосып қоясың терминалда сразу қоя салмайсың терминал жауып қойып ашасың и FFmpeg деген әріпті жазасың сосын запусқа жеткізсің программа просто ашылды кейін сол кодын қоясың и все кетті процесс кетті күтіп отырасың біткен түсінікті солай істеу ғой но сендер шықпайсыңдар ма маған шықпайсыңдар ма келесіде лучше OBS қолдансаңдар ол өте кішкентай файл береді размер хорошо
Дебаг болмай жатыр мына мен короче положение шықпайды и астына короче файл дұрыс емес тұр деп бәле айтады бірақ түсінген жоқпын терминал то есть
терминалдаш дебаг консоль деймін мынаны осы екінші осы жерде ошибка не дейді андроидқа емес неге запуск етеді хромға запуск ете берші пожалуйста
аштым ғой хром тоже болмайды
болу керек
күйіп кетті ғой
запуск не үшін жұмыс істеп тұр консоль көріп отырмыз неге
бұған да дәл осы
енді онда осы ошибка неге беру керек немен Google фонтпен дей ма YAMLда қалай тұр ол
мен диктатын Google фонтына келіп не қосылған ғой
жаңағыда Google фонт қосылмаған әлде қосылған екен мында ошибка неге жүрсе полный жібердім ба ошибка не деп тұр, потому что сенде не то жерде ошибка шығып отыр. Так, he imported from end. Сенде бір мынандай қате болып отыр. Сен тура неде, сен мына жерден қателестің, кажется. Кейін емес.
Ничего қызылшпайды мындай.
Жоқ, ол мынандай қате. Сен бір файлды екі жерден алып жатсың дейді. Мынандай. Asset manifest ол қайда тұр бізде? Tab, Google Fonts, Google Font олай қосылмау керек дейді ол. Google Font дұрыс емес қосылған үшін айтып отыр.
Везде дұрыс айтады. Төбе жағы.
Қазір.
Біздің YouTube видеоны приватно писал руководитель.
Өздерің білесіңдер? Ну, приватно разрешается. Worst? Он вообще другой.
Бәрін көрсетіп өтеді ба?
Yes.
Ctrl-M болғанмен.
Жоқ. White brick.
Мен сұрақ қойдыңыз.
Қазір. Outdated in web in the tag definition. Index HTML. Aha.
Да, что это? Экспандиция. Фильме копия пасты привет.
Yeah. Script. Ага. Yeah.
қайсысы қызықсады?
Мен вебтен ашып жатырмын. Біріншісі осы ошибка.
Ауыстыруыңызға не индекс ештеңе алған да? Ой, болмай. Ағай.
Ал. Иә. И екінші қате Google фонттың қатесі. Google фонт қалай?
2.
Downgrade жасады. 2-3-2 дегенге. 2-3-2 дегенге. Хорошо, downgrade жасайық. Ямыл қайда. И сейв жасаймыз. Сол өзіне папкет жасап алады ол.
Аян ақышы телефонға каждый раз download жасағаннан кейін каждый раз новый Flutter'ын не шығарамын яқтан? Иконкасы? Новый файлға?
Новый файлға емес, приложение байланысты. Новое приложение болса, новое приложение.
Мен, например, инстан жасаған туториалдардың шығады екеусі?
А вот на яқта тут.
Яқта жоқ бірақ. Может быть.
2 Replace hash values A, B, used. Қай жерде? Replace деді, иә? Вот жоқ, енді дұрыс болды.
Main заттар.
Сенде не үшін? Хорошо. Енді көрейік.
Яқта лайт тұршы еді қақтықты.
Не тұрады?
Ход рестарт, ход релоуд деп екеу тұршы еді. Рестарт тұр, релоуд жоқ.
Білмеймін, қазір көреміз. Жоқ, тағы да. Hash value деген қай жерде тұр? Which file? үш жиырма тоғыз. Былай сезікші. Маған Айдос аға айтқан түспейді деп. Стипендия. Олса стипендия түспейді деді. Жоқ, шын айтып. Болады. Жоқ. Бәрі Google фонтсының кесірінен болып отыр ма?
Açtı mı? Chrome açtı mı?
Екеуі қалды.
Ağa benim aklımda komik yok değil.
Иә.
Tabii istemiyorsun. Başkalardır.
Ескілерін өшіп тастайын.
Ağa YouTube'da limit.
YouTube'да лимит? Қанша лимит?
Ne kaldı?
Bir günde короче сала берген
Bir gün екі проект салғаннан дейін тұрсын біле қоя. Үшеумайды.
Verification жасасаңшы.
Сонда бір күнде екі ақ үй салуға болады ма?
Жоқ.
Мен үшеу салдым ғой.
Жоқ, ондай емес. Аккаунтқа байланысты. Білмеймін. Солай берсем.
Мен азында екеу салдым. Қазір екеу салдым.
Ha? Ja, болады. Ja, бүйтіп жатыр.
Бүгін қырсы.
Сен ноутын полный перезагрузка жасай саласың, ішіне бәрі үшін. Сол кезде ашып азырақ болады.
Парсоль жасалайсың, жүрек.
Короче, ашылды. Енді бірдеңе ашылмай жатыр. Home ба, бірдеңе ашылмай тұр сенде. Хотя жоқ, загрузка до конца бітіп жетті ғой. Эмуляторды өшіп тастайсыз ба? Телефон, ноут, қыздар жарып жатырсың. Демалуға болады. Демалмай жатыр işte.
Ема, айтып айтыңызшы.